What's good, YouTube? This is the final hitting tips video. You will see the actual gameplay today is going to have a little bit of a twist to it. Gameplay, batting practice, tutorial, whatever you want to call it. You'll see there'll be a little bit of a different twist to the video here. This is the final hitting tips video of the year for me that I will be doing. I've been asked to update my thoughts on it and talk about what I've done against certain pitchers, yada, yada, yada. The twist is something I'll address once the video starts with the actual hitting. But what I want to show is that I'm not full of shit. I'll do this every time I do any of this video. I'm 15th on the leaderboard right now. Ranked seasons. I've only played 19 games. I'm batting 418, which is not my highest, not my lowest. I'm hitting right now. But I'm slugging over 1,000. OBP 444, whatever it may be. I'm lifetime. I believe I'm 9th on the lifetime boards. Let me see. Standings, lifetime. I believe. Let me see. There we go. All right. There we are. So I'm 9th on the lifetime leaderboards. So I obviously know what I'm talking about. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the worst. I'm here to help you out, though. So let me know if it helps. So don't forget to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you put that bell on so you know when I post. And comment and tell me anything you want to see me post. I'll be uploading every day to YouTube from now on. Hopefully, that's the plan moving forward. We'll see if the workload gets a little too crazy. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully these hitting tips can bring something a little bit, spicy to your MLB gameplay. Enjoy the video, guys. I was good, y'all. So this is most likely going to be the last hitting tips video for MLB 20 the show, and the last hitting tips video for the PlayStation 4 games. PS5 is around the corner. But either way, since it's the final video, I figured that we should go full throttle here and do the best we can to help those out who need help with hitting, man, who just want some different ideas. Maybe I can say something that will awaken your third eye. Who knows? Something I get asked a lot more than I thought I'd get asked, right? Is my hand positioning when I hit, which at first sounds ridiculous, but you know what? I guess if you're struggling, you want to try new things, or if you're new to the game, new to PlayStation, you want to know how to use the controller, like be optimized here. So, got the hand cam strapped up for this video. So we're gonna go through hitting against Orel Hershiser, on Legend and BP, Kluber, Aroldis Chapman, Rob Dibble, and Raleigh. We're gonna go through all those guys hitting against them and showing you my approach. And as I talk about it, just watch the hands. If you want to see the hands. If you don't, just watch me then while I talk and explain my thought process. But I figured this is going to be the biggest and the best hitting tips video we can do because we have a hand cam. So, yeah. So you see first of all, I'm not sponsored by them, but I figured I'll plug them. Figure this out. This is a weird angle. There we go. Control Freaks, Galaxies, FPS ones or whatnot. All right, but enough bullshit. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So if you see my hands, and it's inverted, so it looks a little strange. Okay, took that cutter there. I like to keep loose with my PCI, especially when it's like first couple games of the day. I'm getting too rigid. That's when you start flicking the PCI, and then it gets all messed up and wonky and all that. Sliders aren't turned up here for the sake of the video. I'm not gonna have them all the way up. But if you see, like, based off the certain pitches, like that was a sinker low in the zone. So you saw, if you could watch, you could rewind it if you want. I was doing a little bit of this to keep loose, a little clockwise action, and then I dropped down, put a little low flick there. Keep myself on it. So I'm gonna be missing a couple here because I'm trying to like balance between seeing how the video looks and actually hitting the ball. So, but regardless, you guys get the point. Cut on the outside. All right, so so with the sinker from Orel, what you have to look for, you have to get that timing down, that 1-2 timing. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Watch, 1-2. That was a cutter. The cutter is more about tracking, gently tracking, almost like you're floating towards it. When you see a sinker coming in, you have the 1-2. That was a cutter high in the zone, which is a pretty terrible pitch. But watch, so clockwise. When he starts his motion, you want to get that 1-2. 1-2. Boom. That was a cutter as well. We hit it decent. It's actually gonna get out. That's interesting. The reason why I do this is like it just reminds me to keep like loose, and then the 1-2, and then a 1 over. So it's almost like a 1-2-3. That little extra jerk flip thing I do right here is just kind of to like remind myself to refocus, laser in for this next pitch. So this is all timing. This is loose. Timing. Focus. Boom. Hard to talk and hit at the same time. But I'll go through one more time. Loose, loose, loose. Stay loose. Timing. Lock in. It really helps the guys like me who struggle with locking in every pitch. I'm hitting it decent with the... I'm worried about PCI right now. I'm not too worried about timing. That will come, for sure. I'm not throwing many pitches other than sinker cutter, to be honest. Like online. Okay, so you see? I make sure I line up the hands here. Good pitch. I'm generally around it though, and I'm not really like too late, too early. Ooh, we haven't lined up a lot of pitches here. So cut me some slack here. Obviously, I'm not bullshitting you. I know how to hit in this game. I'm pretty decent, but I'm also sitting like 20 feet back from my monitor to catch this video, and I'm also hitting with my controller literally against my sternum. Feels like not really. That sternum's up here, stomach. Okay. So basically against Orel online, what you can look for is sinker cutter. Sinkers up and in, sinkers up and away, cutters tunneling. So people sinkering, throwing sinkers in one spot, say here or here, and then doubling up the next pitch by throwing a cutter in the same location. What that does is that it kind of, what you're hoping as a pitcher there is, that was a scam by the way, is to get the hitter confused, is to have the pitch look identical at the hand and then break late. Throw them off. That's the eventual goal. By tunneling. And tunneling is the most effective way to pitch in this year's MLB The Show, from experience and from what I faced and what I've done myself. Tunneling is the way of the road. So here we go. Timing. Lock in. Boom. Right on it. Right back up the middle. A little bit of a scam job, but whole idea here. Okay, so we got enough of Orel. We have enough of Orel there. Let's go switch over to Kluber. Basic, good old Corey Kluber, who we've seen from the beginning of the game. Now, the Corey Kluber we've seen, the 99 from the beginning of the Diamond Dynasty, is the reason I've the originator of the 1-2 method for me, which is this. It's a 1-2-3 method. Really, it's a 1-2 ... method. So go a little loose here. Then we go 1-2, and then we get ready with a little flick. Boom. Annihilated. Little pimp job. The boys back home. It seems complicated, but you get used to it. It's very rhythmic. You want to be rhythmic when you hit. That was a four seam. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, that's the general idea here, is to keep loose. Remind yourself that you have to be everywhere and anywhere. 1-2, and then timing. Boom. You'll get around to it. You get used to this style of hitting if you want to try this. Obviously the PCI, by the way, that I use, I'll show right now after I foul this pitch off. Here we go. PCI, circles, wedge, none, cyan, 100%. That's the PCI, what I use. I also hit on strike zone high. Most players around my rank hit on strike zone. I'm a rare player who hits on strike zone high. I personally feel that it gives me a better chance to see lower pitches, or recognize lower pitches as soon as they come out the hand. I just see the ball better, man. I've tried strike zone. I have this weird thing where if I switch to strike zone, I mash that game, but after that I get into a slump every time. Boom, crushed again. I need to hit that in the PCI. I'm just that good though. That's the 1-2-3 method at work, folks. You don't even need to hit in the PCI. Another one. Look at that. Boom. Slurp is getting crushed. Alright, so I think we've seen enough of Kluber. I think you guys have all seen plenty of Kluber. I don't think it's going to be anything new. We could try Raleigh real quick before we head over to Dibble. Although Raleigh's leaving a lot of people's bullpen. They're fleeing from Raleigh. Boom. Crushed. Served up on a plate. Now, my previous PCI tips / hitting tips videos, I've talked about Raleigh. It's catching Raleigh's pitches like your PCI is a platter. So for me, it's this. The 1-2-3 method. Boom, boom, click, and then... I'm just looking at everything here to show what I'm talking about. But essentially, you want to catch his pitches like it's on a plate, because everything he throws like this. It starts from down here and it goes up and down. 1, 2, 3. That was a fastball. That one didn't have much drop on it. Sinker would have been better. Don't worry too much about his fastball. It's pretty easy to read online. Even if you miss it because you're sitting sinker, it's not a big deal. You'll probably foul it off or you'll miss it, but they're not going to double up with a fastball most of the time. Prepare for the sinker, and obviously this is the forkball. I used to be bigger on Raleigh's slider. It's still effective versus righties. What I've noticed against lefties is it gets destroyed. But either way, it's not here nor there. Let's just try and get the timing down. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Point of it is I'm on it. I'm a little late, but it's just I feel comfortable when hitting. I don't feel like I'm getting fooled at all by anything. One, 2, 3. Annihilated. That's it. That's the wave. Okay. On to Dibble. This is where it gets a little tougher. Dibble for me, I have a 1-2, and then I hold it high. And I follow. So watch. 1, 2, hold high. Okay, that one blew me away. He's tough. He's tough. But what I do with Dibble is because he's got a cutter, but he's a guy who has a fastball and throws high. What I do is I start. Oh, okay, that ball got crushed. I start at my weakest point against Dibble, which is high and away. And the reason why I start high and away is because where's his cutter going to break? Now, I'm talking about from a lefty hitter perspective, right? Righties, it's different. I'll show you a righty after this. But lefty perspective, Mickey Mantle at the plate. I start up here. That's going to be the hardest pitch to catch up to. Anything else that you have to track, like a cutter or a slider, will be going in this way. Generally speaking, boom. Generally speaking, it will be at a lower angle, so you can catch up to it easier. Starting down and in against Dibble, it's risky. If you get that fastball, you'll crush it. Other than that, you're going to get blown away, I feel like. But it's personal preference, but that's my thought process. Toughest pitch for me is a cutter up in here. If he tunnels with the four seam and the cutter in the same spot. You see how that fastball went down low? It's not going to seem as fast. Easier to track, easier to flick down than it is to flick up. You have more recovery time. That's a tough pitch. I recommend not swinging at that unless it's 2 strikes. Unless you're on it, like ready for it, you're going to foul that off or you're going to pop it up. On that a little bit. That was a good pitch. Alright, so while we're here, y'all saw my approach with Mantle against Dibble. We'll keep Dibble on the bump, but we're going to go with Trout. Show you guys how I hit. I do the same thing. I start in the toughest spot for me versus Dibble, which is up and in to a righty. Boom. Crushed. If you get the pitch. Simple as that. It's butter. That was a little bit of a scammage. Same ideology here. Start up here, and you track down. A little bit late. I saw it real deep. Timing's a little different versus righties. It's better to be early in this game, so generally you can pull that cutter and have pretty good results. Good pitch. I'll beat the shift there, and I was on it. Look at that. Oh, perfect for that pitch. As good as it's gonna get. One more for the boys. See that logic of just starting at the hardest pitch to catch up to and then tracking as it goes lower? Essentially, you're going to be just going with the pitch because it's just the way it is. You don't have to think about it. It's just going to happen. It's just the way it works. These are my thought processes when hitting. Hopefully, you guys can get a decent visual with it as I'm using my stick. You guys can see the controller. Boom. Crushed. Oh my God. And it's a gentler recovery down the middle. The pitch down the middle seems a little slower. You see it a little bit better as well. So that's that. That's Dibble. We'll cover Chapman. Chapman will be the last one. I don't think we need to go any further into it. Lighter is getting rocked. Y'all know how to hit Lighter. Lighter's it. Lighter's lefty Kluber. We'll go Trout against Chapman here. I think I'll show you a righty a little bit versus Chapman. Basic idea versus Chapman is the same thing. 1, 2, hold up. Now, why do I do that? Look at Chapman's pitches. If I start 1, 2 for timing up here, I catch the 4-seam fastball, the sinker, and his 2-seam fastball or his changeup. Anything he'll throw, which is generally going to be in the outside corner, I'll catch it at its highest speed. I just wanted to hopefully just make contact with it so I could track it, but and the sinker's going to fall off down here. You could track it down, you could follow it down, catch it on the platter of the PCI. Or you can quickly flick down in and get that fastball. A little bit late side good, but either way, I tracked it pretty damn well. Look, it gets out. That's the idea. It's much easier to react on a pitch like that, to flick down and in, flick down and up. Because reading inside pitches are a lot easier when coming from a lefty as a righty batter. I'm trying to get a sink on the outside so I could show you my idea. 1, 2, 1, 2, up. Okay. Well, that's the idea. It's the catch on a plate like that. Hopefully get that sinker. I've had much more success hitting against Chapman like this. I've honestly hit Chapman better than a lot of relievers. I personally hit Chapman better than I hit Dibble. I think it's just a predictability thing. I don't think any of his pitches are nasty like Dibble's cutter. Boom. Easy. Easy. And Chapman's a little wild too, so you could be a little bit more confident in taking pitches and knowing you'll get your pitch. Boom. It just feels easy. Especially for someone who starts their PCI, right? Like I start my finger over here on the side. I hold it kind of on the side. I flick over and like this. It's easier. Early. That timing felt weird. Right on it. I saw it perfectly. That's just strange. Boom, flicked in on it. Still good pitch. But you see the comfortability. Nothing is catching me by surprise, really. Now let's get into a little bit of the nitty gritty, the tougher stuff. We'll hit lefty. We'll just do Harper. Chapman lefty is tough. Now what's the strategy here? I don't have a concrete one, but essentially it's cover your weaknesses. So for me, it'd be inside pitches. That fastball sinker tunneling on your inside hands as a lefty is difficult. So I find flicking for a fastball or his slider, which is going to go away from me most of the time. Going away with it's going to be easier than going in with it. So 1, 2, start up. Boom. Catch that hard heat. And you just better hope that you pick it up early. What? You better hope you catch that sinker early out of his hand. Oh my God. So you can drop down fast enough to catch up with it. Because we all know sinkers break fast. Seems like it hits you harder than a four seam. Boom. Okay, so I promise you, I was kind of on that, but if that was a sinker, I would have been blown away by it. That's how it is. All right, I hit that one pretty well. Boom. Those are gonna be the weak spots. You want to be able to cover your weak spots against these guys. Against Orel and Kluber and Leiter, you have a little bit more of a leeway to kind of vibe and hit with rhythm and just play it safe. But against like high voltage relievers like this, guys who just come in here and throw absolute just lightning bolts, you want to make sure you come in with a plan. Cover your weaknesses, because you only have a couple pitches to make up the, make the innings worth it. So you got to catch your right pitches. That's gonna be tough to hit. That slider's always gonna be tough to hit unless you pick it up early. Sometimes it can be pretty gross. Tough to locate though. Boom, blew me away on that one. But for the most part, it's pretty simple covering your weaknesses against Chapman. You know what he throws. And the reason why he's a little easier than Dibble is because he doesn't have the cutter that moves like crazy, and on top of it, he's a little wild. So you can take pitches against him as well. Same with Dibble. Boom. That's it. That's what you want to do. Get comfortable, cover your weaknesses, hit the bombs on the mistake pitches. But yeah, that's gonna be it. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully this can provide. I got a little bit more in detail about how I hit in terms of my mentality. Hopefully, right, guys? Hopefully, the visual of my controller for those newer players or for those guys who are just interested, it actually added something to the video. Let me know in the comment section below if it did or if it did not, or what else you want me to post on YouTube. Let me know. I'll be uploading every day from now on. Hopefully, keep that going. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure you put that bell on and sub to the channel so you know when I post next. But until then, I am out this bitch. Bye.